This week's episode of the Run, Eat, Drink podcast is brought to you by listeners like you. Head on over to patreon.com/runeatdrinkpodcast and subscribe today. Fans, founders, and insiders like you help us keep the Run, Eat, Drink podcast going, and we thank you for your support.
Hi, I'm Jeff Galloway, and you are listening to the Run, Eat, Drink podcast.
Welcome to the Run, Eat, Drink podcast. We feature destination races from across the country. And after the race, we take you on a tour of the best local food and beverage to celebrate. So whether you are an elite runner or a back of the packer like us, you'll know the best places to accomplish, explore, and indulge on your next runcation. Hey, welcome to episode 193 of the Run, Eat, Drink podcast. I'm your host, Amy.
And I'm your co-host, Dana.
I am feeling better.
Yes, we are.
I'm on the mend. I don't think I'm 100%, but
I can hear it in your voice.
I'm definitely better. And I think that in the editorial and recording process, there will be less pauses for
Cough breaks, let's be honest.
Yes. Last week, there was a lot of editing.
We were definitely under the weather and fighting through it last week, but we got it done, and we are so glad to be back. Feeling better.
I'm still tired, but
I also think we're tired, but we're excited and energized because we are about to go on another out-of-state race.
I'm excited because this is a race that is near and dear to us. We will talk about it in the run segment, but I'm excited to be traveling again. I just don't want to get the travel crud.
No, we've had enough of that. I'm done.
No more.
I'm done.
No more.
I actually had it come up in my Facebook feed.
Oh?
9 years ago, I posted, great, getting a sore throat.
It happens to you like at this time every year, usually. We just skipped last year.
December, January. Yeah, last year. Of all years, you would think, oh yeah, you're going to get sick.
Yeah.
No. It was this year.
Uh-huh.
And then we made up for it with a double whammy coming off of Alaska. And then now.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Hi, everybody.
I'm feeling better. You're feeling better. We are on the mend. I am super happy about that. So we'll talk about training for this big race weekend.
Yes, we are going to be talking about our training updates ahead of the Jeff Galloway Double G weekend.
Yay!
That we're going to run in Atlanta, Georgia. Hot Atlanta. And it might actually be Hot Atlanta this time.
I hope not. Oh.
We'll talk about that too.
Ring the bell.
No, we can't ring if we ring the bell, the dog gets scared.
I know, but still.
And then we are going to be bringing some holiday cheer.
Yes.
This is, of course, we're heading into the Christmas season. We're really fast approaching Christmas.
We have this week, and then next week, our episode will be talking about what we've done heading into the actual Christmas holiday.
Yes.
So.
And then what better way to ring in the Christmas season than a holiday-centric, holiday-specific recipe? It's been a while since we've shared a recipe.
A holiday-themed, if you will, eating and drinking portion of the show.
Yes.
Because we've been training, so it's a home-based, what are we having to get into the holiday spirit at home?
Very much. So we're going to be talking about a panettone bread pudding.
Oh, eggnog. Panettone.
Panettone bread pudding.
Yes. Do you say panettone or panettone?
I call it panettone. I could be wrong.
I don't know how to pronounce it.
We could plug it into Google and see how the computer says to say it. But
should we do that?
We could give it a shot.
I don't know.
But I go with panettone. And then for the drink portion this week, we're going to be talking about a beer that if you've listened to us on any of our live streams, you've heard us mention it. I believe that
last year at this time, actually.
Last year at this time. And then I believe last week even.
We talked about it.
We talked about it. And that beer is Shiner Cheer, which is only released around this time of the year.
And we have to dedicate a segment to it. It's just...
It's got a lot of not only holiday memories, but fond memories from one of our favorite local eateries, Next Best Pizza.
Of course.
Also, patrons of the show. But we love that beer for a lot of reasons, and we're going to talk about that.
Yeah.
But first, you've got some shout-outs to do.
Couple. I was hoping to celebrate JoJo, positively probably one on Instagram. I was hoping to celebrate her Rocket City half.
I was so envious of this. I love that town.
And I loved her little outfit for it.
Yes.
Too. But apparently it was canceled due to weather.
Yeah, we should probably just take a moment to say
safety first.
This is the week following that massive line of storms that came through parts of the South and the upper Midwest
and really
wrought havoc on multiple states with
for a long time.
Many lives lost, and we are just absolutely beside ourselves with our thoughts and wishes for everybody in that area for a recovery.
Yeah.
And as we are recording this, there are still rescue efforts underway. We're hopeful and praying for positive outcomes
for everybody,
for as many people as possible.
Stuff you can replace, human life.
Absolutely.
So
and we were hit with a tornado ourselves back in 2016. That was only an F2. This was F5.
Awful.
They're saying that ran over 250 miles.
It was just on the ground for so much longer than ours was, and so much stronger.
Yeah.
And I hate that for all of those people and all of those communities.
Absolutely.
And we just hope for the best for everybody there, and we're thinking of them.
100%.
Yeah. So I was safety first.
Yes. So as a result, her race was canceled.
Yeah, and I totally get it.
Tied to that or affected by that storm system. 100% understand. And really, you never, as a runner, you never want your race to be canceled.
No, but safety is key and important, and you can always reschedule. You can always do it again next year.
Exactly.
Yes.
Let people defer, whatever the case may be. It's just, I hats off to the race organizers for making that hard call.
Yeah, it's very difficult. Very difficult. Somebody who did not get a race canceled, though, is Fun Size Jennifer Hall.
Yes.
And she got to run with a friend Santa Run 5K. And I believe that was the name of the race. And they were taking lots of fun pictures along the way and getting in the Christmas spirit, the holiday spirit in Frederick, Maryland.
We did one similar to that last year. That run for.
Yeah, it was virtual.
That was a virtual, though.
And it was supposed to be like either a 5K or a 1 mile. And it was right around the time I was still recovering from
knee surgery.
So I walked that 1 mile, and there was like a festive little Santa running shirt they had.
Everything about that was very well themed.
Yes.
And so that was a great race that we did. But
it reminded me very much of that. Yes,
it did. And the photos were adorable.
So if you want to shout out for yourself or someone else, celebrate an accomplishment, shout out a race, experience, a training milestone, anything in this section of the show, make sure you email us at info@runeatdrink.net.
That's info@runeatdrink.net.
Or you could call us and leave us a message about it that we could play on the show at 941-677-2733.
We have the technology, and we will play it at 941-677-2733. You leave the voicemail, we pull the audio, we put it on our soundboard, and we hit the button.
It's the same number we use for the live show call-ins when we have them.
Which was so much fun.
Yes.
We recently did that.
For Thanksgiving. We got to do that again soon.
We do. Maybe for New Year's.
Yeah.
Something like that.
New Year's resolution, Collins.
Oh.
What do you think?
Dangerous.
Or just what you hope for in 2022 if you don't make resolutions? I don't know.
I like that.
Something like that. I don't know.
In the meantime,
planning for later.
Let's talk running.
Let's talk running in the meantime and the training updates, because we didn't have a race this week.
No.
As we said, we were still overcoming being sick.
Sometimes you catch whatever the funk is, cold, flu, whatever the case may be, and you recover mentally. You get back to normal-ish, or at least back to where you can function.
Yes.
You're going to work, you're doing stuff around the house and all that, but you still feel off for a week or so.
Yes. Cloudy,
even. A little woozy even. And that's where we were at this week. We had really big plans.
Oh, we did. We wanted to do high mileage. We did a coffee chat where we said we were going to do high mileage.
And we set out to do it.
And then we realized we're still getting over being sick.
Yeah, so we got to about mile 2 instead of, mile 2 of 12, which was what we were shooting for, 12 to 13. We got to mile 2 and both of us were feeling like we had just been run over by a truck.
Yeah.
Not like back to being sick, but just the fatigue was still there.
Tremendous.
And a little interval work, not really working really well. Let's do some fast-paced walking. That worked okay for a bit, but when you get that wooziness to where you're like, am I hungry? Am I thirsty? Am I just ill still? At that point, you have to listen to your body and just say, enough.
Yeah.
I'm better off taking a nap and sleeping than I am trying to push through this and potentially ending up in my neighbor's front yard.
Which we don't want to do.
No, we like our neighbors, but not.
The longest training run going into this race weekend that I've done in the last 2 weeks has been a 5K.
Yes. Now you got up and you were doing 5Ks this week ahead of work.
Only one.
Only one? I thought that you did 2.
No.
Oh.
Just one.
All right. Then I'm only one ahead of you. And
I see that.
Even at that, mine weren't quick.
No, it wasn't fast.
And we had some weird weather here too. Every morning this week has been
super foggy.
Soupy. Like we're getting we're reaching highs into the upper 80s right now, and in the mornings it's starting out really, really foggy, and in the upper 60s, low 70s. So it's been a weird dynamic where I'll wear a hoodie in the morning for the run.
Yeah.
I've been doing just a little bit of light interval work, and again, no further than 5K. And then
I wasn't even doing interval work.
By the midday, it's over 80 degrees, pushing 90. So it's been weird. So you've got 1 5K in this week then.
That's it.
All right, I thought you had 2. And
no,
our longest run in the 3 weeks past 3 weeks is the total of 12 miles that we walked. Which was
walking.
But again, this is per Jeff Galloway.
Yeah.
Walking is acceptable.
Yes.
Total distance of 12 miles. I think that we're going to be okay. Well, I know you got concerns.
I have concerns because it's a 5K on Saturday. It's Barb's 5K on Saturday, and it's Jeff's 13.1 on Sunday.
So this is so to be clear for everybody, this is a challenge weekend.
It's a double G, so it's a challenge weekend. But in conversing with Jeff and telling him about the sickness and about the lack of the training mileage, and he says, you're going to be okay. He said, walk the 5K. Just walk the 5K. And you could easily walk the 13.1 on Sunday and end up at the finish. He says, now, there are places you can cut the course if you're not feeling good. We've built that into the course very well. If you need to cut it short and not actually finish, then there are ways to do it safely.
Sure.
and we have people on the course, manning the course for safety and support. And there are things you can do if you want to try and then you can't make it.
And I think that's a smart way to approach it. Just so everybody knows, the 5K on Saturday, Barb's 5K, is a 5K through mainly Piedmont Park.
Yeah.
Piedmont Park is Atlanta's version of Central Park. It's a gorgeous area. It
really is beautiful.
It's a completely paved course. You have, I think, you have a little bit of elevation change during that park run, but for the most part, it's flat in segments. So worst case, you could walk the whole thing. Okay. Yeah. No big deal. Yeah. And then for the half marathon on Sunday, Jeff always likes to say you start out higher than you finish.
I know.
Total elevation.
And I know it's true because he wouldn't say it if it wasn't true.
No, he's 100% correct.
Yeah.
However,
it feels different.
There's a lot of up and down throughout the race course. This race course begins you in a beautiful section of Midtown Atlanta.
Yes.
It takes you out Piedmont all the way to Ponce de Leon Avenue. You head right down Ponce, right past one of my favorite locations in Atlanta, Krispy Kreme, which we have not seen since it's been rebuilt.
Oh, has it been rebuilt? Is it done?
Fingers crossed.
I hope so.
I hope so.
I want a donut.
If it has, I will be stopping for on-course carbohydrate support.
I am so excited.
This is not us eating donuts on a race. This is us getting fuel for the race. Let's be clear.
Okay.
I'm only doing this for nutritional support.
And you're not going to drop them this time.
I will do my best.
Okay.
So you run that portion, then you hang a right, you head out towards the MLK Museum. Then you hang a left and you go out to the Carter Presidential Library. So you do have some sections there that they fluctuate from hilly to flat. I think that if you were to approach this conservatively and you walked the uphills and any flat sections you did intervals and any downhills you did intervals.
Depending on how we're feeling.
Depending on how you feel.
Yes.
I think that you're fine. And then once you get back to the Atlanta Beltline, that's 2 miles straight, flat, paved, no traffic. I think you got some opportunity, but you got some opportunity there. I'm just saying, if you feel like doing the interval work, you can.
He said, the course is open long enough that I think you could walk the entire thing and be okay.
I'm sure.
So that's going to be my mission, and hopefully I can pull that off. If not, I'm going to own up to that. And if I need to cut the course, he said, come see me at the start and I'll talk to you about the points where you might have the opportunity to cut it short if you need to.
Right. And I know what he'll probably tell you is at the end of, more than likely, it'll be at the end of the Atlanta Beltline. You'll just go straight on to Piedmont Park as opposed to going to the Virginia Highlands. So worst case scenario, you grab your medal at the end and then you finish this one, cut it short, and then you run it as a virtual in a training run coming up.
So that's not my goal. My goal is to walk it as efficiently as I can and to finish it because that's my coach.
That is your coach, America's coach.
And a hero and an inspiration and somebody that I really want to see at the end.
It's kind of a big deal.
Having done the full 13.1 because of the year that we've had.
100%.
I want to do it. So I just have to remember to drink a lot of water the day before and fuel up and just do what I can and use the extended time on the course that he allows to be able to finish. And that is my goal. That's my goal.
That's a good goal. The good news is that it looks like we're going to have pretty good weather. It looks like we're going to have overcast or cloudy weather for Saturday and Sunday. Temperatures are going to be in the 40s on Sunday for the big run.
And then get warmer?
Heading up into the late 50s. That's warmer than we're accustomed to for this race.
Oh, yeah.
And it might be a little warmer than that on Saturday for the 5K. But again, it's a 5K. It'll be less than an hour. We're in, we're out.
Okay. Fine.
And here's the secret, everybody. With a dog park on the course.
I mean,
And actually, there are technically, I think, 3 dog parks for like small, medium, and large dogs.
yes, they divide them into
I think it's 2
sizes.
or 3.
So yes.
We tend to take a little extra time there.
How can you not?
How can you not?
They're so cute.
It's ridiculous.
We're dog people.
It's ridiculous.
And we're cat people too, but these
We're
dogs,
both,
but
but-
these dogs are adorable.
And it's just a beautiful park. When I lived in Atlanta for college, I was at Piedmont Park frequently, not only for just general recreation purposes, but for like music events that were in the park.
It's a beautiful venue.
It absolutely is gorgeous. And every time we go, we always see people doing things like remote control drones,
Flying kites.
flying themselves on like parasails.
Yeah, or just using the quad type area to just run around and play with
Frisbee.
family. Yeah, games.
And I love the fact that you a segment of the downtown skyline kind
It's
of against
beautiful.
the trees.
Beautiful.
The gazebo that's there on the water.
Oh yeah.
That's always a great photo op for us. We have so many photos from this race course. I love Barb's 5K. I really do. And I love the fact that Jeff's race, that's the last 3 miles of the race.
Yeah.
Although for
mean,
Jeff, for the 13 miler,
Is it
yeah.
the last 3 miles?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because at mile 9, you're on the exterior, or you're on the perimeter.
You hit
between-
mile 10 before you go in.
You do. The last 3 miles are inside the park.
Okay. Got it.
And I love that you get to do that one again. And I like the fact that those last 3 miles are completely traffic controlled because you're out off the streets.
Oh, you don't have to worry
about vehicles. And truthfully, over the year with this race course, they've got it down to a science. You really don't have problems with traffic.
No.
Even in the neighborhoods where they run this through, Atlanta PD does an amazing job.
And there are biking paths and or sidewalks and yeah.
I can't remember.
I just want to finish this race.
You're going to finish it. But what I'm looking forward to, and I cannot remember the name of it, along the Atlanta Beltline, there's a little coffee shop.
Oh.
And a couple of years ago, I popped in, and this was a bad idea on my part. I freely admit it. Look, I'm the dumbest smart guy you'll ever meet sometimes.
What?
Amy is way ahead of me. I pop in, I go to this coffee shop.
Inman Perk, the James Room.
I order a couple of coffees, and I'm thinking to myself, I can run with 2 hot coffees in my hand.
You cannot.
And granted, they had lids on them, so
Okay,
I figured the lid would keep them contained. It didn't work. I thought that my hands would keep them nice and balanced. I wouldn't spill. Man,
sir.
That was a bad idea.
No,
it was
sir.
literally a waste of money. But I had ideas, so
You tried.
same. And I'm
Your
going.
heart was in the right place.
And I'm telling you, if Krispy Kreme is open, I am going to execute on getting those donuts to you without them going on the ground first.
I want
We're
them.
not going to have road donuts this time.
Regardless, I want them.
Hashtag road donuts.
I want them. I don't care.
All the runners around me thought it was hilarious. And it didn't stop people from eating them.
Pacers,
It didn't stop anybody from eating them.
fantastic. And the Pacers told the story then later on down the line at the Donna.
We're running the Donna a year later.
And I know we've told the story before,
We have.
but
And
I just think it's funny.
And I happened to overhear somebody telling a story of this guy that was running a race in a kilt who went into the donut shop and got donuts and then dropped them. And then as I walked up, I said, hello. They're like, it's you. So they got to meet me, and then we tell the whole story again. We ran that race for several miles together. We had a lot of fun with that.
Yeah.
But I'm so excited for this race. I'm so excited to get back to the city of Atlanta.
I know.
There's so much to look forward to. I know that we're trying to hopefully meet up with some people on Friday, if anybody can make it for our time at Trader Vic's.
Yes.
Saturday after the 5K, we're wanting to do brunch, and then we're looking at some other options as well.
For Sunday.
Yeah,
after the race, assuming I'm not, assuming I hydrate well enough and I'm not sick after.
Or just throwing off toenails, and as I've seen you do before.
Let's hope for the best. Let's hope for the best. Okay?
You're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. I think that it's going to be a very good race overall. It's just going to be a little bit warmer than we're normally accustomed to, but I think 28 degrees at the start might be a little too cold.
I want it.
I know you do.
I know, but whatever. Weather is what it is, so it's the unknown.
So anyway, we've talked a little bit about the fact that our longer runs that we wanted to happen didn't really, and that we have a strategy. We're going to approach running and potentially doing some interval work on the flat and downhills. We'll see how it goes.
Or not.
Or not, depending on how you're feeling.
Yeah.
Listen to your body. We learned that this week, trying to push through.
Yeah.
So we'll let everybody know how that goes.
Okay.
So all this talk of running.
Has it made you hungry?
Funny how that works.
For holiday themed items?
It also doesn't help the fact that the entire house right now smells of my signature beverage that I make every year. Of course, I do a cranberry orange vodka, and we'll probably talk about that on an upcoming episode. But also Amy's signature dessert.
I do make it.
So we complement
every year.
each other.
Yeah.
And
I cook, people.
she cooks.
It's not just him.
Oh no, not by a long shot.
Yes, I am.
And I love the smell of it, by the way, because I come in the house and it hits me immediately. The signature ingredient being nutmeg is one of my favorites.
I love nutmeg. You and I, we love this. We saw it on Food Network. Full disclosure, it's not like a something we invented or something that came down through the generations of our family, but
it has become a family tradition, however.
Yes, it
thanks
has.
to you.
And people in our family have been asking for it from year to year. So we saw it initially on 30-Minute Meals with Rachel Ray.
I was going to ask you, wasn't this a Rachel Ray episode?
I love her show. I loved her.
Does she still do this show?
I don't even know if she does 30-Minute Meals because she does her talk show and all this other stuff.
She's too famous now.
Yeah.
This is back when she was just coming off of being the food demo person at Publix at the end cap. Because that's how she got her start.
Look at what that did for her. So
I know.
I'm just saying.
So this is a eggnog panettone bread pudding.
Yes.
And before you get into the recipe itself, I'm going to drop a little trivia on everybody.
Go right ahead.
If you're not familiar with panettone or panettone, this is a bread, a sweet bread, almost a cake. It's a little bit denser than pound cake, but it's not quite a loaf of bread.
I think it's way better than fruitcake.
That has dried fruit baked into it.
Yeah.
I learned that this goes all the way back to the Crusades.
Really?
This was something that Crusaders carried with them as a ration that they could eat on horseback while traveling across the Middle East.
Things I learn when we record this show.
I thought this was a really cool bit of trivia. And because the dried fruit travels this particular style of travels well. Oh. And I think probably a little bit of I'm sure that in the baking process, there's a little addition of a little bit of alcohol to kill anything other than the initial yeast that grows to rise. But it is a panettone bread is something that you see every Christmas season that comes out, and it's wonderful. because if you've ever had American fruitcake, let's be honest.
It's
dense.
It's like a brick.
I'm
serious. You know how we had like the brick of the lobster mac and cheese last week?
But that was light and delicious. There's nothing light or delicious about fruitcake.
Fine.
But this, American fruitcake has a very, there's a lot of fun made of it. We're making a little bit of it now.
Yes.
And
I guess
it has this really strong flavor. The dried fruit, usually it's brandy, I think, or rum used in the process for making it. It doesn't have a very light or airy texture. This is everything good about fruitcake, which is a little bit of dried fruit, plus everything good about actual bread, which is light, fluffy, airy texture.
It does have that airy texture, and it's not, you know how fruitcake has got that gloss and it feels like it's weighed down with a whole bunch of sugar water and just like, I don't even,
it's dense.
Yeah. It's not like that.
Panettone is not.
I love it.
And you like it even without baking it into this bread pudding.
Yes. But
so
when
if you see
oh, sorry.
I was going to say, so if you see a loaf of this in your local grocery store or drugstore, take a chance if you've never tried it.
It was in the bakery
section
of our grocery store. Just saying. But you can also find it at drugstores too. And there are little mini ones too.
There are.
I'm just saying, anyway.
Get the big one though.
Yeah. The big one I get, and I know she says in the recipe, if you look at the one that we linked to in the show notes, that she wants like some of the crust cut off.
You don't do that.
When you cube it, because it's actually making little cupcake-sized miniature bread puddings, like individual serving sizes. Love that.
And that's something you adopted, right? Was that part of the original recipe?
It is.
Oh, okay.
It's something I cannot take credit for. I'm telling you, it is. But I put mine in muffin cups, which is something that's an addition to this recipe.
It's so smart.
So that you can actually take it out of the muffin cup, reheat it, or it transports well for parties, or it's good.
So This is a traditional bread pudding.
Yeah.
But instead of bread, you're using the panettone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you have to cube those, and then you essentially when you make what the bread is going to soak in, what the panettone is going to soak in, you're making an eggnog custard.
Now, are you actually using eggnog as an ingredient?
Mm-mm. You're using half and half. You're using half and half rum, vanilla, nutmeg, sugar, eggs, and egg yolks.
So you're making the custard. Mm-hmm. That what gives it the eggnog flavor, and you control this, is the amount of nutmeg. I think.
Yeah.
I think nutmeg is the essential.
I think it's the nutmeg, the rum, and the vanilla extract that make the flavors for this. Yeah. Just holiday. So you make the custard in a separate bowl. You cube the bread, and then you pour the custard over it.
So where you could get creative with this, when you made, because you made a batch.
Well, then you put it in the muffin cups, and then you put it into the oven, 475.
Mm-hmm. Water bath.
But you give it a water bath, and then you just have to cook and check like 10, 15, 20 minutes until a toothpick or the tongs of a fork come out clean.
Right.
So it depends on your oven. But yeah.
But when you made this the other day, what rum did you use?
Silver rum. Silver Wicked Dolphin rum. So shout out to our local distillery.
Paul Cottrell.
Love it.
Love it.
So good. But you could use a spiced rum if you wanted to.
To give it a little extra.
Yeah, I guess to punch up or to add to the nutmeg and vanilla.
Honestly, I don't know which would be better, truthfully, because A silver rum has this clean flavor of the sugar cane.
Yeah, it doesn't take away from the rum. The rum doesn't take away from like the vanilla and the nutmeg
and the dried fruit flavors.
But you could also play with, because who knew that Panettone or Panettone, however you say it, is also available in flavors.
We discovered this literally,
who knew,
3 days ago. We were at the store. We were walking down the aisle.
I didn't know.
And we were looking, and all of a sudden we see not only do they have traditional, which is which is a white bread that has the dried fruit baked in.
Right.
But they also had an option for a vanilla and a chocolate, and it looked like it was chocolate bread with chocolate chip.
I guess you could mix it up that way, or with the type of rum you use, or both.
A spiced rum or even a dark rum, I think, could be really interesting if you're wanting a richer flavor.
Like a Myers, kind of.
Or even like a Papa's Pilar.
Oh, yeah.
If you're wanting something that's really got that almost molassy kind of thing going on.
Yeah.
There are ways you could play with this. So you bake it up. You do it in the cups, and we've been doing this for years with family. I think that we saw this recipe over 10 years ago,
probably,
and we do it every year. And what we love about it is in the muffin cups, you get that individual serving size. So, like you said, you can go hot or you can go cold. Some people love theirs warm. With like ice cream or cream or creme anglaise
or whatever.
Because a lot of people make that creme anglaise kind of as a side or something to pour over, which would be glorious.
Yes, and we've had some great bread puddings in our time, in our travels.
I inherited this from my father. My dad was a huge bread pudding fan.
And my father as well. I love the white chocolate bread pudding at the Columbia restaurant.
The Columbia restaurant is one
Tampa,
of the best.
Also in Celebration in Orlando.
Yes. And I believe in Jacksonville?
St. Augustine.
St. Augustine. I'm also a huge fan. We've talked about it, I think, on the show. There is a bread pudding that is made at Raglan Road.
Oh, I love it.
And they do the creme anglaise. But if you don't want to do creme anglaise, because that's a little extra step, you have to make it. And,
of course.
That's basically a custard that you're making. A really good, high quality, I like a traditional vanilla bean ice cream that's got the vanilla.
So you could see the flecks.
That, I think, is the way to go.
Not like a rum raisin? No?
I think that's too much.
Too much, and competes with what's in the bread.
You're wanting to accentuate what's in the bread.
Okay.
Because I think that panettone has such a good flavor. It gives you, it screams holiday to me.
It does. It does.
It's so comforting. When you made it, we had one for quality assurance.
Of course.
And that to me is just such a comfort dish. Yeah. And really the muffin cup, and you use the larger muffin cups with that. But that is a very, when you get it all done, once you've soaked those cubes of panettone,
and it doesn't take long, really,
and you bake it, it's a dense, it's a substantial dessert.
And I also like to leave all that crust on so that after you soak the bread and you're putting it in the muffin cups, you can use some of the pretty crust for the top.
And I think that's a nice textural contrast. You get a great eggy, custardy, soft but warm texture, and then you get that crunch.
It's good.
And
it's good. You could dust it with some turbinado sugar on the top. If you wanted to.
That would be awesome.
Just heat it up like maybe 15 seconds in the microwave and dust it with some turbinado sugar and put that vanilla bean alongside.
That would be awesome.
Awesome. Just saying. And if you wanted to have some caramel sauce on it, you could, but that may be a bridge too far for you.
What I like about this recipe is that it's not cloyingly there is a sweetness to the bread, but it's not like a cake.
But you could make it sweeter with the caramel if you prefer, or butterscotch or something.
Yes, but I personally like the fact that it's not a super, super sweet dessert.
So you can just control what happens with the toppings and do what you want.
And this recipe has been, like we said, it's been in our family now for over 10 years.
Thank you to Rachel Ray.
Thank you to Rachel
on
Ray.
Food Network. Classic Food Network.
Back when she was on Food Network, back then.
And I think she still is occasionally.
Is she?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Anyway.
I don't know the last time I've
great.
seen her on Food Network.
It's a great recipe.
We do have a link to it in the show notes, yes?
We do.
So please go check that out. And really, if you're looking for a last-minute dessert idea, and this transports very well.
It transports, it stores very well.
We do it in muffin cups.
Yeah.
We put it in a Tupperware. We normally travel up the night before, put it in the hotel fridge.
Oh, yeah.
It goes the next day, and then if you want it cold, you go straight from the Tupperware. If you want it warm, 30 seconds in the microwave, and it doesn't lose anything.
No.
In my opinion.
It's great. I think it's great.
So check it out.
And easy to make. Highly recommend.
Yeah, how long does it take?
30 minutes.
Tops?
Yeah.
Wow. Hardest part's going to be getting the wax paper off of the panettone.
I think the hardest part is waiting for it to cool.
Oh,
You can
there is
have
that.
some.
Yes. There is that
That's
problem.
the hardest part. I don't know. That's just me.
Or trying not to eat the custard since it has raw egg in it.
I know.
I've heard that that's dangerous, although I've never met anybody that's actually been killed by raw egg yet.
No, just bake it, let it cool, enjoy.
And remember, eating raw or undercooked egg products may be hazardous to your health.
Follow the directions
Exactly.
of the recipe and enjoy. Let us know if you make it.
Listen, before we go on, we do want to say thank you to all of our patrons for your support and the growth you've allowed us to achieve this year.
In the holiday season, I feel
Jingle jangle.
I feel extra appreciation.
Like you want to hug every patron?
Yes.
Me too.
I just want to travel and hug every patron that's allowed us to continue to create the show and grow the community. We just got 2 new patrons in November and December, and we're so grateful for all of you and what you contribute to the community and the fact that you support our passion project that is this show.
Absolutely. Listen, at patreon.com/runeatdrinkpodcast, we currently have 3 levels. We've been saying it forever. It's coming at the end of the year.
I know.
We have $2, $5, and $10. Each one has their own special perks. We have more stuff coming. We promise it's coming.
In 2022.
In 2022. Patrons, you get a special handwritten thank you note from us when signing up to support the show.
You know it's handwritten because I'm a lefty. It's pretty bad.
You're still better than mine.
And all patrons get special shout outs on social media on their birthday or whatever special day of their own choosing, their podcast patron anniversary,
exactly.
Whatever.
Insiders get a look behind the scenes, exclusive access to other video footage, special interviews before they get released on the podcast feed, cooking demos, tastings, you name it. But the show is always going to be free.
If you want more of the Run, Eat, Drink podcast and you want to support the show long term, go to patreon.com/runeatdrinkpodcast. Or if you use Podbean, you can tap on the reward button right at the top of the app. And it's all the same perks, all the same levels right inside of Podbean.
Exactly. As always, guys, we cannot thank the Runcation Nation community enough for all the ways that you support the Run, Eat, Drink podcast.
We love you.
We do. Let's talk drinks.
Yeah.
Now, we have a tradition, and a lot of it involves going to one of our favorite local eateries. They do happen to be a patron of our show.
Yes.
Nice Guys Pizza. We love you, Greg and Jovana, and team.
The entire team, the staff, everybody, they are part of our family.
Part of our family and part of our community.
Yes.
And they are the ones that introduced us to this beer coming out of Shiner, Texas.
Yay.
Shiner Brewing's holiday Shiner cheer.
We love it. We love it. It's so hard to find. We talked about it on a chat, and I think that our patron Josh went to go find it in Alabama last year. Yeah. And then I think
and I know Trip Billy
just recently
she had some,
and she's a fan of our live chats too. I can't tell you. I would hoard this if I could find more of it.
Yeah, so what is it? Shiner is famous for their traditional Shiner Bock.
Oh, yes.
This is their holiday favorite. This is an ale that they do with a combination of peaches and pecans.
So good.
This was first brewed in 2010, so it's just a little over a decade old.
Oh.
It clocks in at 5.4% ABV. It only has 22 IBUs on the international.
So it's not super bitter, really.
Not at all. And the fact that you can find it in bottles and cans.
I would love to find it in bottles. We've only found it in cans or on tap. Or on tap at Nice Guys.
Nice Guys, and then also our friends at Number 3.
Oh, yeah.
They've had it as well. Number 3 Craft Brews here in Cape Coral.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to them as well.
Yes.
They are one of our favorite tap rooms.
Mm-hmm.
They do some of the most eclectic tastings of beers,
them.
And their package selection is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Not a sponsor of the show, not a patron yet, but we love them.
You're so hopeful.
I am. Shiner, it's an interesting one to me because you just described it, which was an ale with peaches and pecans, I would be like, what's holiday about that?
But it is.
But then when you have it, the pecan notes and the peach notes to me are so perfect in the way they interact.
It creates the spice, the holiday flavor.
Yes.
It's so good.
Each one independent, I don't think would do it.
I think this, along with the bread pudding that we talked about,
we could try it and experiment and see.
It would be fantastic. It really would. I love this, and on its own, it's fabulous.
What I also love is the fact that Shiner's labels or cans, they're very festive. They
so
almost
festive.
have kind of an ugly sweater look to them. A little bit.
No, it's like a garland look. I think like it's a garland, like holiday look.
Oh?
I think it's ugly sweater.
Okay.
But if you all visit their website that we link to in the show notes, where you see the Shiner Cheer label, let us know.
Yes.
What you think?
I say ugly sweater, but the label proudly proclaims brew with peaches and pecans.
Yes.
It is a very light drinking beer.
I was gonna say it's not a dessert beer.
No.
I think you could have it with, people will have turkey, they'll have ham. Traditionally at the holidays, they'll have a heavier meal like with mashed potatoes and gravy or sweet potato casserole, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it will be a traditionally heavier meal, but I think you could have this with the meal.
I agree.
And it wouldn't weigh you down. You could indulge in the meal itself.
And I think that the flavors would complement those types of foods. Mm-hmm. We sometimes talk about a beer being a burger beer.
Yes.
This is a beer, I think, custom made for the traditional American holiday roast animal and sides type of meal.
Agreed.
And it's light in body. Mm-hmm. The alcohol content is a little higher. It's a little higher than what you might get in the traditional American lagers. It usually clocks in about a 4.7.
Okay.
So it's a little higher, but the flavor it's not dessert, like you said.
It's not syrupy sweet. We've had some.
It's almost aromas of those flavors.
We've had some fantastic beers that are higher ABV, those holiday flavors that are more of stout or a porter heavy body dessert beer.
Yes.
This is not that.
No, it's
more
almost,
amber in color.
And like I said, it's almost like it's not so light like they've waved a picture of a pecan and a peach by it.
Oh no, you can get that.
It's got a little bit of it in there, but it's not there's no sweet note that you're like, nothing says dessert about this beer.
Could you have it with a dessert? Certainly you could have it with a bread pudding or like pecan pie or something like that. You could have it with that, but you can also have it with meals. So I think it is a very versatile holiday beverage.
100%.
So I highly recommend. I wish and hope that in the future we can go to Shiner, Texas and see and visit the brewery.
And I believe that the actual brewery it's not Shiner Brewing, it's Spetzel.
Is it?
Spettzl Brewing. But it is, they name it for Shiner, Texas.
Yes.
And again, this is one that we have enjoyed. Greg introduced us. Greg from Nice Guys Pizza.
Yes, you are right. The Spetzel
Brewery.
Spoetzl.
He introduced us to this about 7 or 8 years ago. Every year since then, we've made a point to have a holiday meal sometime between Thanksgiving and Christmas at Nice Guys.
Yes.
Typically with one of his specials that's going on. And they'll always either have this on tap or in either bottles or cans.
Yes, something.
And we will get this beer there. And I don't know what it is. Aside from the fact we're spending time with friends at one of our favorite places.
Yes.
With amazing food. And again, I know we've mentioned Nice Guys Pizza a million times on the show. We're going to do it a million more. When you come to Cape Coral to come hang out with us.
It's a draw for this town.
This is a reason to come here.
Yes.
And this is a place to go. The specials could be anything, and it doesn't have to be a traditional pizza.
Yeah.
The fact that we're able to have this beer, talking with Greg and Yov, and having some of their amazing food is a holiday tradition for us.
It is.
For at least the last, ever since they've been open, basically.
Which is coming up on, they are approaching a decade.
And I love the fact that they always hold back some of this beer.
Christmas in July.
They do a Christmas in July event where people wear Christmas attire. They do like a crazy bike ride, and they hold back some of this beer for July. I love that.
Yeah.
It's so great.
So thank you to Greg and Yovana at Nice Guys Pizza for introducing us to Shiner Cheer.
Yeah, seriously, one of my all-time favorite beers, period.
Yeah.
And it happens to be a holiday beer, which I never thought would be the case because I tend to find holiday beers like the pumpkin beers
too much. You think it's too much?
It's a little. It tends to be a little. I don't know, like a little commercial,
over the top.
Yeah, like a little gimmicky.
Yeah.
But this is not the case.
It's perfect. And I hope we get to visit the brewery. I hope. And I can't wait to have that Nice Guys meal very soon.
Indeed. Everybody who's listening, check your local package store. Check if it's not at your local mom and pop, please check your local ABC or Total Wine.
And let us know if you find it.
And we would love to hear your review. Send that to us, info@runeatdrink.net.
Yes.
Or 941-677-2733. We'd love to hear what you think of Shiner Cheer.
Next week, we will have part of our report, I'm sure, from our weekend in Atlanta.
We have some plans. We're going to cover some amazing food and beverage. We have at least 2 races to talk about for Atlanta. We're going to try to get as much as we can on the culinary and drink scene there.
Yes.
We're going to do what we can for you. We do it for you.
Oh, I think it's a little bit selfish, too. To be honest. They know.
We're going to do the best that we can.
Come on.
But hey, listen, this week coming up, we're going to be doing a live holiday chat. We're going to make sure that our tree is up and dressed and ready to go. And we are going to chat with you guys. And we're asking that you'll invite a fellow Runcationer who's not yet experienced our show. Yes. Share our show on social media and help bring somebody along this week to the live chat. Help us grow the Runcation Nation.
We thank you so much for listening, for joining us on your long run, your commute to work, around the house, wherever you are. We're so appreciative, especially this holiday season.
We really are.
I'm your host, Amy.
And I'm your co-host, Dana.
Stay safe, stay well, and we will accomplish, explore, and indulge with you really soon. Thanks for listening to this week's episode of the Run, Eat, Drink podcast. We're having another great year thanks to your support. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We're at Run, Eat, Drink Podcast. And on Twitter, we're Run, Eat, Drink Pod. You can also give us a call at 941-677-2733 or send us an email at info@runeatdrink.net. Visit our website at runeatdrink.net and click on the subscribe link so you don't miss a minute. Find out how you can support the show at patreon.com/runeatdrinkpodcast. Accomplish, explore, and indulge right along with us. We'll talk to you next time.